To round out this chapter, I'll knit double bed jacquard on a Brother Bulky punch card machine. First of all, I want to make a couple of adjustments. The punch card machines do not have a KC2 setting like the electronic machines. The punch card machines are usually set to automatically select the end needle when patterning. This can be very useful when knitting Fair Isle or tuck stitch as the end needle gets stabilized. However, it's not desirable when knitting double bed jacquard. KC2 on the electronic machines cancels the end needle selection. There is a workaround on the punch card machines, however. First of all, move the pattern dial to KC. Then flip the carriage over and using a single-ended transfer tool, turn this little screw from vertical to horizontal. Now that little thing, whatever it's called, drops down and the end needles won't be selected. Just remember to reverse the process when knitting with just the main bed. On the color changer, I want to move this bar to the other position for the bulky setting by loosening this screw, realigning it in the new position and tightening the screw again. Now I have it installed in the machine and I'll thread up. The yarn I'm using is probably a little on the thin side for this machine, but better too thin than too thick for double bed jacquard. I'm using the same card as I did for the silver reed, but now I'm reading the pre-printed numbers since the card was made for a Brother machine. I set up for full needle rib and knit a few rows ending on the left. The card is locked on row 1. Now for the needle selection row. Turn the pattern dial to KC and knit 1 row. Loosen the tension, press both part buttons and release the card. This will be the first row using color 1. Selected needles knitting on the main bed and all needles knitting on the ribber. Now row 1 in color 2. Then row 2 in color 2, just like before. After completing 1 full cycle of the pattern, I'm going to knit the next cycle as a double-sided jacquard. In this case, all the needles that don't knit in color 1 on the main bed will knit on the ribber. Instead of using the 3rd and 4th colors, I will just work with colors 1 and 2 throughout. I have to hand select needles on each row. I'm just looking at the main bed selection and choosing the opposite needles on the ribber. So reading from the right, 3 needles are not selected on the main bed, so I select 3 needles on the ribber. 9 needles are selected, followed by 3 that aren't. So on the ribber, I miss 9 and select 3. Then miss 9 and select 3. I have 1 extra needle on the ribber, and I'm choosing to select that needle when I knit with number 2 yarn. Before I knit the first row, I need to raise both part buttons on the ribber. The needle selection process repeats for each and every row, making this very time-consuming. But there might be a time when you really want this double-sided pattern enough to spend the time doing it. You do actually get into a little groove after a while, but personally, I can't imagine doing it on a standard gauge, especially not full width. Off the machine, you can see the depth and to some extent the width is reduced with this technique, but it gives a very clean, crisp pattern, and having it on both sides is pretty wonderful. That was a video from our latest class all about the ribbing attachment, how to set up your ribber, all the basic rib starts, double bed jacquard, cables, racking, tucking, plating. It's all there. So go check out that class and our other classes at www.theribbingexpert.com. thenittingschool.online.